Hey everyone, how's it going? This is Azren, the language nerd here. I'm the owner of the Calgary Language Nerds, and welcome to this video that I'm very excited to be recording. If you have missed the update on my YouTube channel, I am making some changes with my content strategy as of this month. And essentially what I'm changing is that I want to make some more recorded lessons for a variety of languages. In the past, I would focus mostly on my content with overall language learning strategy, which I think is very important. But as of this month, I want to make some lessons for different languages. So some French lessons that are recorded, Spanish lessons that are recorded, Mandarin lessons that are recorded, so on and so forth. So across my different social media platforms, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, etc., I would like to, and I plan to, start making some actual lessons for different languages. You'll see me in a lot of the videos, you'll see people on my team in a lot of these videos, and I'm very excited. So today what we're going to do, let me share my screen. I want to kick off a 4-part series. And this is how the lesson videos that my team and I make, this is how our videos are going to go. We're going to release these 3 to 4-part series every month. And the goal of each series is to help you get as close to mastering a specific concept as possible. And not just theoretically, but also being able to apply it. I think that's pretty cool. Imagine every month you can learn the theory behind something new in a different language and actually be able to apply it. That's amazing. I think every month you can do that. That's huge. So today's video is going to be focused on French, and specifically, I am kicking off this 4-part guide, today's part 1, to pronouncing the French R like a pro. This is presented by me, so Azren, the language nerd. I'm the owner of the Calgary Language Nerds. If you want to learn more about me and what we do, then I encourage you to visit my website, which is azrenthelanguagenerd.com. Here's the plan for the next 4 lessons. Lesson 1 is going to be talking about the voiceless R, as well, the voiceless R and doing some practice with the voiceless R, the voiced R and doing some practice with the voiced R, the soft R, I don't really know if there's a better or a technical term for that, but that's what I'm going to call it. And then the 4th lesson is going to be really cool. We're going to do a live practice session. So the 4th lesson is not going to be a YouTube video or anything like that. It'll actually be a chance for us to get together and do some live practice together, which is really exciting. Okay, so let's dive in. Oh, before we dive in, something for this particular video series, and in fact, most, if not all, the lesson series that my team and I release, we're going to make some PDF practice guides that go with each series. So this one here is accompanied by a program which I'm calling Take Your Tongue to the Gym French R Practice. It's a 30-day, it's 30 days worth of exercises with accompanying audios to improve your ability to pronounce the French R. If you go to my YouTube description box, you will find you'll find the link to go learn more about that and grab that guide, or rather that program, if you're interested. Here's some samples of it. So this is page 1. So it's organized as like a 30-day checklist of sorts. So each day has a different task that you have to do. I've organized it in 5-day increments. So 5 days you practice French words that have a CR, as in the letter CR. 5 days you practice TRs. 5 days you practice FRs, so on and so forth. There are 2 days, the 15th and the 30th day, where I encourage you to practice the words with a tutor, because I believe it's important to get some feedback from a native or advanced speaker to make sure that you're saying it correctly and you're not cementing in bad habits. I provided a practice word list, which looks something like this. Obviously, this is a sample. And then there will be an audio of me saying all of these different words, so that if you're thinking to yourself, how do I say this word? You'll have an audio and you'll be able to listen to it and say, ah, that's how I say it. And you'll have something to imitate. Okay. As I said, that can be found in the YouTube description box below. Let's talk about voiced and voiced versus voiceless. So French, although there is one letter R, there are 2 ways to pronounce that R. In fact, there are technically 3, but it's 2/3. There's 2 primary ways to pronounce it. And there's a third way, which is a little different, but it's really close to one of these 2 here. We'll get into that over the next 3 videos. So a voiced R, and actually voice sounds in general, voice sounds are where your vocal cords vibrate. Voiceless sounds are where your vocal cords are not vibrating. So I'll give you some examples. So if we take the sound S, as in the word soup or snake, so the letter S, if you go and actually do this with me, if you go S, and you place your hand on your vocal cords while you do that, on your throat, and you go S, you'll notice your vocal cords don't vibrate. But if we go, watch me and listen. So if we switch the S to a Z, when we go Z, and you stick your hand on your throat like this while you're going Z, you'll notice your vocal cords are vibrating. So Z, as in like a Z or a Z, that's a voiced sound, whereas S is a voiceless sound. And French has a voiceless R as well as a voiced R, and they sound a little bit different. Today, we're going to focus on the voiceless R. I find the voiceless R, for most learners that I come across, tends to be easier to pronounce. So a voiceless R, we'll do some practice, but let me pronounce it for you so you can hear it. A voiceless R sounds like this. It's pronounced, in fact, let me stop my screen share. It's pronounced in the back, all the way in the back of your mouth, using the back of your tongue, and you're going. I know it might sound a little bit funny or look funny when I do it like that, but that is what you're doing inside your mouth. You're going all the way in the back of your throat. It's very close to when you say the letter, when you say something like, as in the word cake or Kate or call, that sound. It's way back there. It's actually slightly further back, and you're going. Okay. Another way I can explain it would be when you say a sound in English, or not even in English. If we do something like this, notice how your lips are flapping, and you have a consistent a consistent flow of air coming out of your mouth, and then your lips start to flap. That's basically happening in the back of your throat to create, in the back of your mouth, excuse me, to create that sound. Another way to view it, if you've always struggled with that sound, is imagine if you're gargling water. So if you take a glass of water, you drink it and you start to gargle and you go, that's also a French R. Now that technically is a voiced French R. It's not voiceless, but we'll get into that another time. Now, I've worked with hundreds of people on the French R, and I don't think I've failed. I don't know if I've ever failed to teach someone how to pronounce it. I mean, there's a system you can follow, and the vast majority of people, if they follow the system, they're generally able to learn to pronounce the French R, which I'm excited about. So step 1, you have to pronounce words that have a C and an R combination. Okay, a C-R combination, that's what you're aiming for to start. Why? Because CRs are actually typically, for people, they're easier to pronounce than other R's in French. For instance, a CR combination is easier than a TR combination, which is easier than an FR combination, at least for most people. So say these with me. So this one here is je crois, un croissant, un croissant. As we're going, like pause, rewind as needed to try and hear it and try to pronounce it to the best of your ability. La craie, un crayon, l'encre. Oh, this une fenêtre should not be here. Une fenêtre should be one line down, actually. Let's just cross, let's actually move that right now. That's should be one lower. I made a mistake. This is actually down here for the REs. Une fenêtre. Okay, there we go. All right, so une fenêtre. I'm sorry, l'encre. So we're on the CRs. So practice those a lot. You'll have to practice every day, 10 to probably 15 minutes. Practice. Je crois, un croissant, la craie, un crayon, l'encre. Notice how strong that R is. You really hear it. It's a strong R. It's a strong R. It's not a very soft R, which we do have some soft R's in French, but these are strong, very, like you really pronounce these with vigor. Je crois, un croissant, la craie, un crayon, l'encre. So you practice these. Next, you want to practice words that have a TR. These are going to be harder to pronounce. These are not quite as easy. There's a nerdy reason for it. I won't get too far into it, but let's just say for simplicity's sake today, it has to do with your tongue positioning. TRs, your tongue has to do more movement to transition between a T and an R than a CR. So TRs will be harder to say, but that's the next step up. So I'll say these words here. Trois, trois, trente, trente, un trou, travailler, travailler, être, être, une vitre, une fenêtre, une fenêtre. So listen to those as often as you need to. Feel free to rewind, listen, practice along with me. The R's do not come overnight. You will have to practice them daily for a number of days, number of weeks, and then you'll start to get the hang of it. And step 3, we have, let's do some practice words with an FR. These will be a little bit harder for most people anyway. Let's go into these. Froid, froid, frais, frais, français, français, freiner, freiner, affreux, affreux. Okay, so again, listen to that as often as you need to. Practice along with me. Okay, you practice a lot at home. I would start with these. So this is the order you want to go. This is the order you want to practice in. And that wraps us up. That wraps up this initial video here. So again, if you want to get this Take Your Tongue to the Gym French R practice, the link is in the description box below. And next time we will jump into part 2, where we will talk about, I'll give you a little sneak peek. We're going to talk about voiced R's, how to pronounce them. I'll give you some practice words. We'll do some exercises together. Okay, let's stop my screen share. Have a wonderful day. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. There's a link in the video description below to email me. So feel free to do that if you have any questions. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.